I'm Marty Levinson, and welcome to the Northtown News Magazine.
Hi, I'm Marty Levinson. Welcome to the Northtown News Magazine.
Hi, I'm Marty Levinson. Welcome to the Northtown News Magazine.
For the identity of the real Marty Levinson, please stay tuned for the Northtown News Magazine.
Come on, baby, don't you wanna go? Come on, baby, don't you wanna go? Back to that lemon light city, sweet home Chicago. 224 446. Come on, baby, now get your business fixed. Come on, honey, don't you wanna go back to the lemon light?
Hi, I'm Marty Levinson. Welcome to the Northtown News Magazine Show of Shows with your greatest cameraman around, Sonny Hirsch, and your host, Avi Myers.
Thank you, Marty. Avi Myers, Northtown Neighborhood News Magazine, a presentation of Sonny Hirsch and myself. Dial us up on the web at ntnm.org. Community policing is alive and well in the 24th District. CAPS24.org. It is a pleasure to introduce you to the president of RIPCO, the West Rogers Park Community Organization, or West Ridge Community Organization, I think it is, and an all-around, well, somebody who's very involved in the community on many levels, and he's been on the show before, Ahmed Khan. How you doing?
Thanks for having me, Avi.
My pleasure. Now, it's the West Ridge.
It's actually the West Rogers Park Community Organization, but we could do a whole show on the syntax and terminology issues about that, but we call ourselves the West Rogers Park Community Organization.
It's a great name, I mean, because that's how most people still know it, even though West Ridge is technically correct.
Yeah.
But that's the same everywhere. I mean, like, none of the neighborhoods are actually called, very few neighborhoods are actually called.
You have an official name and then the name that people recognize it by, but, you know, because we have a West Ridge Chamber of Commerce, but then we have a West Rogers Park Community Organization. So, I mean, people, I guess, more or less today know it's interchangeable.
Yeah, people are more aware now, but the fact is it's actually realtors that are, for the most part, responsible for that.
Yeah.
So
maybe West Ridge sounds better to some. And
yeah, you know what? I've always found that people east of Western like West Ridge, and people west of Western like West Rogers Park.
Right, probably.
In any event. So tell us about, so you've had some interesting events. Tell us about the West Rogers Park Community Organization.
Well, just this past March was our annual meeting, and I was re-elected as chairman of the West Rogers Park Community Organization, and we've had new board members joining the organization, and we did a lot of great work the past year. We had the TIF forum with Tom Tresser and Ben Jarofsky. And last November we held a education forum. It was kind of a public debate. We had representatives from charter school, from the Chicago public schools. You know, we had teachers, people from the local school councils, and so it was a very informative debate. And just this the first event of this year, we had a speaker from the Metropolitan Water Reclamation District. And that came about because we always drive down McCormick Avenue. Once we're approaching Howard, we're always curious as to what that smell is. And, around Toohey and Kedzie, it's the same thing. And so it's just, it was an opportunity for members of the West Rogers Park community to talk to somebody from there, actually. And they actually did say that they do tours. So if anybody actually wants to come into that big building at Howard and McCormick, they can come and have a tour of the building.
No, that's fairly new because they actually stopped all the tours because of 9/11. So they just reinstated them recently.
Yeah, so I mean, they were very highly promoting that, and they asked us to share that information with people, and we have been. And so
yeah, because they used to do it for years, and well, now they can. I mean, they would let us go down in the deep tunnel, which Sonny and I have been to. But they wouldn't let us go into the water plant with cameras.
Oh, really? Okay. But yeah, so I mean, basically, it's just our intent at the West Rogers Park Community Organization is to bring these types of events that, people may not necessarily have access to to the different types of speakers, but they have that interest. And so, we're just looking forward to a great year ahead. I mean, nothing specifically planned as of today, but, it's a lot is in the works, and we hope for a great year ahead.
Yeah, for the people living around there, what did you learn about where what creates the smell?
Well, I left the meeting halfway, so I didn't get a lot of that, but I think on our website we have some of that information, so people can Google us. And
well, basically, people have to understand that they're treating an awful lot of waste there.
True.
And
some of the figures that they were sharing about how much that is, it was pretty surprising.
Yeah, as a matter of fact, if you want a really interesting look at the place, if you take the Skokie Swift from Howard,
I've heard that.
It passes overhead. And I always used to wonder when you fly on an airplane and you see these, they look like round swimming pools.
Right.
All over the place. And I always wonder, who's got these round swimming pools? What the heck
Not
is
up
going
here.
on?
Not that big up here.
They're not swimming pools.
Right.
What those things actually are is that's something where the water sits to filter.
Right.
And there's like a ton of those in back of the place. So it's an interesting
they
view.
showed us the layout of the plant and what happens where and the whole tunnel system. And so it's pretty informative. It's good to know. I've lived here for so long, but, it's good to know what's going on over there.
No, it is, and it's nice and close, and it's even named after Terry O'Brien, who was one of my favorite guests on the show.
Yes.
What other things are you involved in?
Well, I also just got reelected as community representative on the Stone Scholastic Academy's local school council.
Oh, very nice.
So that also happened simultaneously. Again, it was a great experience to serve on the local school council. People should get involved. I mean, every year we see that the city puts out, they have a deadline and they have to extend the deadline because there's not enough people applying to be candidates for those positions, and sometimes you have vacancies even as the year goes along, but you really have a great opportunity to play a role in, how money comes to the school, where things should be allocated, what types of programs, and you get to talk to different people of the community. So I think, as per my experience, I strongly urge, especially people with kids at the schools, as parent representatives, they should definitely get involved and run for their local school council.
I think it's a good idea, and very good. It's nice to participate. It really is.
I mean,
it makes a difference.
Absolutely.
No question about it. So we've got an election coming up in less than a year, and a certain somebody sitting to my left actually ran for alderman. Maiden voyage into politics. Any thoughts about doing it again?
I mean, I would be not overstating this if I said that, every week I get multiple people asking me the same question, and as the days and months get by, those people increase, and, a lot of people, wanting me to, telling me that I should. And, but to be honest, at this point, I'm kind of on the fence about that. I mean, you could see my involvement in RIPCO, my involvement in the local school council, it's just symbolic of, my passion of serving my community. So, I mean, although the results were not in my favor last time, I've still found avenues to be part of my community. I've still found opportunities to, put the skills and experiences I've had to better my community. And alderman at that time was something that I was very interested in going through that avenue to do a lot of the things and bring the ideas that I had. But at this point, I'm kind of on the fence because I just had a son. He's 6 months old.
Congratulations.
And so just kind of early in that family phase, it's, just kind of something you have to consider personally. And, you got to think about others close to you. And so I'm on the fence. I won't, say that I'm going to do it, or I'm not going to say I'm not going to do it. Yeah. So that's there too.
Well, as those of you who watch the show know, I am a big fan of tarring feathering our alderman, Deborah Silverstein. And tarring and feathering might be too polite a thing based on the job she's done and the great intellectual capacity she has shown to have no clue about what it is she is doing and the harm she is doing the community. So I hope there is a good candidate, and if it's you, that would not be a bad thing.
Well,
at all.
I mean, just to say something on that regard, I mean, just fairly, I still am a constituent of the 50th ward, and in that right, I say that there are a lot of issues that, in terms of, things that she's tried to advocate for, the way things have gone over the last, I still feel that community involvement is very limited. The alderman should do a lot better job in coming into the community and just showing up to an event doesn't mean that you're actually gauging the pulse of a community. And I think a lot of the different votes that she's voted yes for, I mean, I'm not in support of. I can't tell you off the top of my head right now, but I mean, there were things that, in terms of the TIF funding is one of the big issues. And so there's been a lot of issues that, I think if somebody wants to run, that there is reason to.
Well, she's a rubber stamp for a very unpopular mayor right now, and the fact is that it would be very interesting if Preckwinkle does actually run, and Preckwinkle decides to align herself with her own set of candidates.
It would create a very interesting election if you had a candidate of that caliber try to run for mayor and have their own slate of aldermen who they're trying to support.
And
so
that could happen. I mean, if you were to take a look at how much value the 50th Ward committeeman's job is, how little value. In the judicial election, they supported, he's a decent guy, the guy in, why can't I think, Brian Alexander.
Okay.
That was their main thrust. He's Ira's campaign treasurer. Okay. He was the chairman of Deborah's campaign committee.
Okay.
So they sent out separate letters for him, endorsed him fully, made sure that everything they did, he had his name on it, they supported him. And their support basically in the 50th Ward, with the support of the committeeman, okay, and the state senator, the alderman, garnered him 396 votes.
Oh, I actually didn't know that. It's surprising.
That is, well, actually, considering the fact that they have almost no precinct captain and no real organization.
Well, I mean, yeah, those always go back to issues of, just, engaging the community in the right way, being truly grassroots. And, I mean, I'm all in favor of the, democratic process. One of the biggest issues that I've had in our community, whether it's been for aldermen, for, commissioner, senator, representative, whatever position is that, I just feel that it's always just a pass through. Yeah. That there's never any other people stepping up to run. And mind you, that's not necessarily a negative point against those officials. It's just that where are the other people? It can't be that it's just you have one person who has great ideas to be a senator or representative. Yeah. Other people should step up and they should run and bring those. It brings new ideas to the table. And then it also kind of pushes the incumbent to be a little bit more accountable.
Very important.
Absolutely.
Very important.
So,
I know I never told you this. I don't think I've ever told anybody this. When I put out first of all, when I do put out Jewish Chicago, as you can imagine, I put out a lot of copies. I mean, depending on which election, I'll put out as many as 20,000 copies, never less than about 10, 12,000, even for like local stuff. And when you put out that many copies, you get some very interesting reactions from people, not all of whom have all their marbles. And I got a really nasty call from a Jewish lady.
Okay.
In Peterson Park.
Okay.
For the aldermanic election, telling me that I had to pick up every single copy of Jewish Chicago, toss it, and reprint it.
Okay. I think you told me this. I think you did tell me this.
It's possible, but basically, what was my crime? I misspelled your name.
Yeah.
Without
thinking. You did tell me that.
I made it K-A-H-N, which is how most Jews spell it. Although it's not exclusively a Jewish name, because your Khan is K-H-A-N.
Yeah, it's just a switch of an H and A, so you did tell me about this. But it was kind of funny that it actually would have been that big of a deal.
People are very silly about things. I mean, listen, I have people telling me I can't say this because it'll go viral. I wish it would go viral. I could use that kind of publicity. But the fact is, it's funny. It's like, I don't think too many people are going to confuse you with being Jewish.
Well, I mean, it shouldn't be about that. I
It
mean,
shouldn't be about that. The
that.
fact
But
is-
I mean,
Look,
it's
you have
out there.
Jewish people that aren't good. There's a number of major figures in the Jewish community that understand that our Jewish alderman and our Jewish state senator are not good for the Jewish community, just for a few vested interests. And there are times, you know, like to give you an example in another ward, you've got people like Alderman O'Connor or Marge Lorino that are terrific to the Jewish community.
Absolutely, that's true.
And you know, it depends on the situation. You know, everything's different along those lines. So, closing thoughts?
Just thanks for having me on. I mean, we'll see how the year goes along. I mean, we do have an election. I will be involved in it one way or the other,
Yeah.
either as a candidate or hopefully, supporting a good candidate if they come up. And RIPCO always does an aldermanic forum. So if not through those avenues, we will make sure that the candidates come and the community gets to hear them on some hard,
Oh, we were
pressing
actually
questions.
not allowed to film the last aldermanic forum because the Silversteins told RIPCO not to, which I'm not going to get into, but
Well-
RIPCO had different leadership at the time.
Well, we'll see about that. We'll see what happens about that this time.
So that would have been fun, but I'm not going to worry about it too much. In any event, I want to thank you very much.
Likewise.
Ahmed Khan.
Thanks for having me on.
I know people can reach you on Facebook.
Yeah, I mean, just write my name out on Facebook. Profile's open, so you can contact me there.
Cool. Thanks so much.